The Ottoman Empire once dominated vast swathes of land, but its collapse left a legacy forgotten by many. Today, we uncover the final days of this once mighty empire, full of shocking truths and untold stories. How did an empire crumble, leaving behind only ruins? Stay with us as we explore the mysteries of the Ottoman Empire, but that's just the beginning. The secret you're about to learn turns everything upside down. Did you know that the Ottoman Empire once controlled vast lands spanning 3 continents? From the Balkans to North Africa, its reach was extraordinary. Yet, by the early 20th century, this mighty empire crumbled into pieces. What caused this dramatic downfall? How did the once wealthy provinces like Egypt, Anatolia, and Syria slip into poverty? With its internal struggles, the empire's final years were marked by corruption, economic decay, and weakening power. But the most fascinating part? These provinces continued to hold influence in the global economy long after the empire's fall. Join us as we uncover these hidden truths and explore the forgotten history of the Ottoman Empire's decline. But knowing this, you'll definitely want to continue. As the empire's power waned, its once prosperous provinces like Egypt and Syria faced unimaginable struggles. Despite their rich resources and prime locations, they were left in ruins. Mismanagement, political instability, and a declining empire led to poverty, with the wealth that once flowed through these regions now long gone. But here's the twist. Even though these areas were economically stagnant, they still played a significant role in global trade. What kept them valuable even after the Ottoman collapse? Let's take a closer look at how these forgotten provinces continued to shape the world long after the empire's fall. But as we go further, it only gets more intriguing. While provinces struggled, Istanbul, the heart of the Ottoman Empire, faced its own crisis. Once a hub of culture, wealth, and power, the city became a symbol of decline. Streets filled with unrest and poverty replaced the once vibrant markets. The Sultan's palace, once a magnificent place of authority, now stood as a hollow shell, filled with corruption and mismanagement. How did a city that was once the envy of the world fall so drastically? The answers lie in the empire's political struggles and the crumbling infrastructure that led to its eventual demise. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. As the Ottoman Empire's collapse unfolded, something unexpected happened. Despite the crumbling infrastructure, some of the empire's former provinces, like Egypt and Syria, continued to hold immense geopolitical value. While their economies were stagnant and their people struggled, the regions remained prized for their strategic locations and abundant natural resources. These territories became crucial in the global trade networks that persisted long after the empire's fall. How did such neglected regions maintain their importance? The answer lies in the hidden assets that these lands offered to the rest of the world. We're about to uncover a shocking detail. Let's take a brief pause and imagine a world where the Ottoman Empire just decided to take a break. What if they'd just given their empire a quick vacation? Maybe some fresh ideas, a rebranding effort, a new slogan. A little PR work and a coat of paint on those old palaces might have done wonders. While the fall of empires isn't something to laugh at, it's fun to imagine how differently things might have turned out with a little more attention to marketing in the 19th century. But now, let's get back to our main mystery. While the provinces of the Ottoman Empire maintained some influence, the heart of the empire, Istanbul, suffered greatly. The city that once symbolized power and prosperity was now overwhelmed by corruption and internal conflict. The Sultan's palace, once a place of grandeur and control, became a symbol of decline. The streets of Istanbul, once filled with life and trade, now faced increasing poverty and unrest. How did this once glorious city, the empire's jewel, fall from grace so quickly? The answers lie in the mismanagement and the political instability that plagued the heart of the empire. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. As we dig deeper into the Ottoman Empire's decline, we start to see an unsettling pattern. The provinces that once flourished were now struggling to survive. Yet, even as the empire crumbled, one thing remained constant. The empire's former strategic locations continued to play a crucial role in global affairs. But the real question is, how did these regions, despite their internal decay, continue to exert such power? The answer is more shocking than we think, and it's something that has been hidden for years. We're about to uncover a truth that will change how we view the Ottoman Empire's legacy. And then, something truly shocking happened. Here's the bombshell. Despite the Ottoman Empire's fall, some of its former provinces were still drawing immense interest from global powers. Why? Because these regions contained hidden resources and controlled trade routes that were vital to the world economy. The empire may have fallen, but its strategic importance remained undeniable. This wasn't just about land or people. It was about wealth that lay buried beneath the surface. These resources would shape the future of the Middle East and even the global economy for years to come, long after the Ottomans had left the stage. But what if this was just the beginning of an even greater story? Let's find out. Syria. Let's take a light-hearted moment. Imagine if the Ottomans had only hired better managers during their final years. What if they had outsourced their empire's strategy to a modern-day consulting firm? Perhaps they'd have learned how to turn their crumbling palace into a trendy tourist destination, or made Istanbul the next global tech hub. While the fall of an empire is no laughing matter, it's always amusing to imagine how things might have been if they had only embraced modern strategies. It's fun to picture how an empire known for its military might could have turned into a vacation hotspot. But now, let's return to the serious matters at hand. Just when we thought the story couldn't get any more intriguing, a new twist emerges. Despite the Ottoman Empire's collapse, its former territories continued to hold strategic importance for global powers. But the real shock lies in what came next. Foreign powers moved in, seeking to control these regions and their valuable resources. These nations saw an opportunity to shape the future of the Middle East, capitalizing on the empire's fall. As the dust settled, the global competition for control of Ottoman lands intensified. This struggle over strategic territories would set the stage for decades of political maneuvering and conflict in the region. The story of the Ottoman Empire's fall didn't end with its collapse. It marked the beginning of a new, even more complex chapter in Middle Eastern history. And still, the story takes another unexpected turn. We've uncovered many layers of this complex tale, but the final revelation is about to change everything. The Ottoman Empire may have fallen, but its legacy lived on in unexpected ways. The influence of its former lands continued to ripple through history, shaping the future in ways we could never have predicted. The geopolitical struggles that followed its collapse would be felt for generations, with the Middle East becoming the focal point of global tensions. Now, we are on the verge of discovering the most surprising element of this entire story, a truth that has remained hidden in plain sight for years. Brace yourselves, the final revelation is just around the corner. Get ready, because what happens next will blow your mind. We've journeyed through the downfall of the Ottoman Empire, the struggles of its former territories, and the geopolitical chess game that followed. Now, we're at the edge of a monumental discovery. The Ottoman collapse wasn't just the end of an empire. It was the spark that ignited a new era in the Middle East. A new, powerful force emerged from the ashes of the Ottoman Empire, one that would shape the future of the region for generations. The tension in the Middle East began to escalate, and the world was watching closely. This final revelation will show you how the collapse of the Ottoman Empire set the stage for a modern-day geopolitical conflict, one whose effects are still felt today. Hold on tight. The next moment will leave you speechless. Before we reveal the final truth, let's take one last moment for a bit of fun. Imagine if the Ottoman Empire had suddenly decided to enter the 21st century. What if they had upgraded their palace with Wi-Fi, high-tech surveillance, and a state-of-the-art coffee machine for the Sultan? Perhaps they could have created an empire-wide app for the citizens to submit complaints and suggestions. Maybe their downfall wouldn't have been so tragic if they'd just embraced a little technology. Sometimes, the best way to cope with history is to laugh about it. But don't worry, we'll get back to the serious stuff soon. But now, let's dive back into the heart of the story. After uncovering the many layers of the Ottoman Empire's decline, we're finally reaching the truth that's been hidden for so long. The empire's fall wasn't just about territorial loss or economic decay. It was about the world shifting into a new phase, with the Middle East becoming a focal point for future conflicts. The resources once controlled by the Ottomans were too valuable to ignore. With the global powers vying for control, the region became a powder keg that would eventually explode. The true impact of the Ottoman collapse can be seen in the ongoing geopolitical struggles of today. This isn't just history, it's the foundation of modern conflict. Now, it's time to uncover the most shocking truth of all. The most shocking fact about the Ottoman Empire's collapse isn't just its downfall, it's the way it laid the groundwork for the conflicts we see today in the Middle East. The resources, the strategic importance, the control over trade routes, these elements have continued to shape the region for over a century. The rise of new powers, the competition for control, the modern-day tensions, All of these are direct consequences of the Ottoman collapse. The empire's fall wasn't just an end, it was a beginning. The real question is, did the empire ever truly fall, or did its influence simply evolve into the complex conflicts of the present day? Think about that the next time you hear about the Middle East struggles. The Ottomans may be gone, but their legacy is alive and well, shaping the world in ways you may never have imagined.